Morning, Instagram. How are you? And good morning, Facebook. Man, I'll tell you, it is early. I just can't stand daylight savings time. I like the extra time we get in the evening to with the sun out, but it is pitch black out right now, and the lighting in here is not good any longer. So daylight savings isn't doing anything for our Monday mornings with Mike. And it feels like I just can't stand how fast, at like a week after a daylight savings time occur, how fast the morning comes. So we got coffee going this morning. Hope you got your coffee going. And we're ready to go. This one's not going to be long, but this is more of a shout out than it is anything else. A Woman's Place. That's the title of today's Monday Mornings with Mike. And this is in honor of Friday. Wait a minute here. What day? Yeah. Friday was International Women's Day. And funny enough, we were talking to a neighbor of ours on Friday just about all sorts of things with regards to kind of what women go through and women in the workplace and all kinds of stuff. And this was kind of an extended conversation up at the mailboxes where we live. And it got me thinking as I was kind of working through what this was going to look like. It really got me thinking about just the nature of our business and kind of just business as a whole. Our business obviously is kind of a home-based business. We are in the essential oil business, which I feel slightly out of place from time to time because it is dominated by women. In fact, most home-based businesses are dominated by women, and I've got to thinking, well, why is that? And some of the most successful women are in the home-based business. And that got me thinking and looking up research on statistics in Fortune 500 companies with women who are, one, at the helm, and then two, women who make up a good majority of the sales force, or at least maybe a sales force that's more diverse. Because in all honesty, most of Fortune 500 companies and the sales force are men. And so statistically, when a sales force is made up of more women, or they've put more women in those positions, the Fortune 500 company, or the company as a whole, does much better. Okay? And then I got to thinking, okay, what about our business and home-based business? Why is it that it's vastly the success of people in home-based businesses are women? And so as I went through kind of the research, and then anecdotally I'm looking at our business as a whole. Karen runs a good portion of our business. I do some of the back-end work. I do a lot of teaching. I do a lot of teaching at our public classes, things of that nature. But all in all, most of the work is done by my wife, Karen. And so, and then it got me thinking, man, my wife, who has built a massive essential oil business, she would be passed over if she was to go out and she was to go apply for a sales job, let's say at a Fortune 500 company. Most of the time, they would look at her resume and they would pass right over it. And it would get stuck in a bin where it wouldn't be looked at again or wouldn't be called on. And I thought, wow, what an injustice that is. Because my wife has an amazing ability to gather people in, to serve people in a sales capacity. Her customer service skills are above, are absolutely amazing. Her follow-up, her organizational skills, her sales skills are far beyond what I've seen when I've worked for Fortune 500 companies. I worked for Honeywell. I worked for a company called Schneider Electric. All the salespeople, top-end sales, regional sales managers were all men. And she would blow them out of the water, any of them, when it comes to her ability to sell, to serve in a sales capacity. And I think that's across the board the truth. I think when we look at who like Fortune 500 companies are hiring, I think they're missing the boat when it comes to women in these positions. And maybe it's just that they don't get, that they don't apply. Maybe it's that they don't think that they can succeed at a Fortune 500 company. But then when I look at like the home-based business market, and I see these women and how they have the uncanny ability to create an organization with very little back-end support, meaning materials have to be created on their own, like sales and marketing materials have to be created on their own. A market needs to be created on its own. And I know a lot of people will look at the network marketing business structure and they'll say, oh, it's like a pyramid scheme and you're just going after friends and family and things of that nature. And part of that is true. You do sell to friends and family. But just think of it this way. If you were to own a restaurant, or if these women were to own a restaurant, you'd go to their restaurant. So why not buy the product that they have, you know? That's the one thing I don't understand. You go to their restaurant if they own the restaurant. But a lot of times that people will look at women who start up these home-based businesses and they ask their friends and family, hey, will you support me in this endeavor? Maybe have one class for me or have one party for me. They get looked at as though they're really not doing a business. And it's just kind of something fun that they're doing. And I look at that and I look at some of the most successful women that are in our business. And here, think of it this way. The warm market goes away very fast. Friends and family go away very fast in this business. I know because we ran out of our warm market when we were starting this business about 2 months in. Now we're 3 years in, hundreds of customers all over the country, some in other countries. And Karen, my wife, has really driven that. And so I want to give a shout out to the women who are in sales, to the women that are running their own businesses, because I think they're at a disadvantage culturally in our culture. It's getting better, but they have a disadvantage culturally. And even in these women in the home-based businesses, it's kind of looked down upon a little bit. So there's a disadvantage there. But I want to give a shout out because they work so hard. Karen works extremely hard at this business. And she's, I think maybe it's a little bit of a different scenario because I'm working right alongside her. But sometimes even when women are in these home-based businesses, they don't even have a husband or a spouse who's supportive. Or maybe they don't have a husband at all and they're a stay-at-home mom or they're a single mom. Talk about really difficult. And really difficult even when single moms have jobs that they have to support their family. Man, that is super difficult. So I want to give a shout out a couple days after International Women's Day here. I want to give a shout out to those women who are working and working hard, because their place is exactly where God has called them to be, whether it's in the workforce, whether it's at home with their kids. I love the fact that these days I'm seeing stay-at-home dads. That's awesome. That's sweet, because women are absolutely amazing at a lot of these jobs that traditionally they have been passed over for. And statistics is telling us that they are better at them in many ways than men are. Now, I'm not putting down my brothers, my men, but what I am saying is let's pay them well, let's respect them, and if you have a woman in your life, whether it's maybe a sister or an aunt or your mom or whoever it might be in your life that is either starting a home-based business or maybe they're running a home-based business, man, give them respect, because they're going out there and they're working their tail off. And go and buy something from them, support them. Believe me, they're not going to make it successful. They're not going to be successful without your support. And maybe they will be, maybe they will be successful without your support. But they'll go a lot longer, and it's going to be an encouragement to them when you do support them. All right? So, guys, everyone, have a great Monday. I hope this is encouraging to the women out there. And get after it. Go get it. Chase your dream if it's starting a business, especially if you're a woman, because you can go out there and you can kill it. So have a great Monday.